Hello my friends, Bogdan is here for you, and this one is called Who is Online Casino actually, and how the old triad is being challenged by decentralized application casinos. So who is casino is actually kind of strange wording, but all we know that there's a whole traditional triad, three things that can be implied by online casino term. First of all, it's game providers. Secondly, this is casino platforms, and thirdly, these are people or casino owners, companies. What exactly do we mean by saying, casino game provider? Is it casino at all? Is it something that can be lawfully called a casino? So what we know is that in the traditional lifestyle online casino concept, the casino game provider, say micro gaming on that end, is someone who's responsible for the gaming experience, for players' experience itself. This is also someone who's really taking the biggest part of the money pie from all. Also, they are doing branding and differentiation, all the things to call them casinos. And finally, they feel very much comfortable in what they do because they are not targets of government regulation. They feel very safe, claiming that they're not interacting players directly, which is kind of very smart position. So, what else? Traditionally, casino game providers like microgaming and Net10 have been on the pinnacle of the whole industry presence. But things are changing. And this is what we discussed later on. But secondly, let's talk about another part of the equation. This is casino platform. So what casino platform do? We all know that they're responsible for kind of holistic experience, for keeping it all together, for tech stack, for payments, for support also. Also, they bring together many casino game providers in one place, try to aggregate, maybe play them all together. It also plays, platforms play a crucial role in the whole idea of casino experience, of its being uninterrupted, smooth, and so on. And we all understand this is a kind of shopping vitrine, shopping window for various add-ons, third-party services, providers, something that we request flat fees and so on. So it's a kind of, funky business at all. And certainly, finally, the casino owners, these are actually venture capital, people who take high risk, as the industry is high risk, to go and start a casino and then try to make it profitable. So these are people who are responsible for balance sheet, for keeping business solvent and running, they are also important and notable for taking players' money and being responsible players' money, because players, they deposit money to them, they actually hand over the money. These people would choose casino platform, or alternatively would do the casino themselves, like make it from scratch. And finally, as a license holder, they are fully exposed to government fines and regulation. These are things for them, So to answer who of these three are meant to be a casino, can lawfully be called casino, is to answer a question: who shall actually take the biggest part of changes, because the changes, something coming up on the industry, something that is really, really demanded for the industry. See, to discuss a change, to solve this equation, we might probably, make a list of the biggest problems on the part of these three. So the problems of casino game providers are well known. The first of all is resistance to change. They are, they've been living in a bulb of their own bulb. They have been really reluctant to go any specific things to try to evolutionize the industry. Know nothing. What they meant to be, the ideal state for them to be, is just let it be. So the biggest ones would aspire for the industry to stay like this. The smallest ones would aspire to become the biggest ones. They would produce the same old slots, nothing changed over the years, except for the industry and the slots being even more complicated, so no one can actually read them up right now. They are not more engaging, they're just more complex and more, nonsense. So these are guys who exist reluctant to change. Also, they are unwilling to actually take a look at the player. Well, they say that our protection is that we don't really engage with players themselves. We don't interact with them. What we do is interact with casino, owners, or the platforms. We just, make some focus groups. This is a kind of nonsense, but still. And this is how we communicate with players. But still, they don't even know the player. Look at their LinkedIn pages. They just put a nonsense announcement how they came up on another summit, drink another glass of wine with their colleagues, and this is all. All right, so take my word, they are unwilling to notice the player at all. Also, they are really expansionists. They are like all capitalists. They take big money, and they wanna take even more. So they go for M&As, try to buy like Evolution Game, and try to buy all the small studios, try to become not only game providers but like game publishers. Try to associate lots of smaller providers under their own umbrella, publish their own content. This is kind of, this is kind of crazy for them. This is something that tells about their expansionists. And finally, they pursue the real fake agenda. They don't know what they do. The agenda is fake, and they, practicing name dropping. So they would drop the names into, the whole public, the society, the players. Like today we are online gambling, another day we are iGaming. This is kind of drastic change. And tomorrow we are just gaming, let alone we just live I. Letter I is not necessary for us. We are gaming now. And tomorrow we are just entertainment business. This is the fake agenda. They know what they do. Or, which is even worse, they know what they do. They try to fool the regulators and try to stay on the safe side. Alright, so coming out to casino platforms. What are the problem of casino platforms? So casino platforms trying to become as big, as powerful as once casino slot providers. So they try to impose the artificial state of competition on the big names, on the big slot machine providers, try to fight them try to make them fight between each other, and this is how they try to earn the portion of money. And the whole strategy, the whole existence of casino platforms, which was at the beginning kind of beneficial, now it's contributing to the bad strategy on the part of the whole of the industry. They are making the margin by stealing margin from other players in the industry, other businesses in the industry, and they become a problem themselves for the industry. So they are selfish. They try to chew out the part of margin, and finally calling it democratization of the online casino game business. They say we are opening up the business is now for everyone, for democracy. There's another fake agenda. But through this very democratization, by lowering the entry threshold, what they do is bring in a lot of non-competent guys who don't know how to do business, which in turn contributes to the rocketing bankruptcy level in these days of online gambling. So they made not democratization but a profanation of this business. And finally, casino owners, venture capitalists, what are their problems? So their problem is as the entry threshold into the business has been really lowered, their problem is they are incompetent. They don't know, they have little or no knowledge of how to run the business. So their problems of insolvency become the problems of the players, and so on, so on, so on. Also, these guys also keep the game of numbers rolling. So they have devised this strategy, and day by day they start up more and more identical casinos, identical clones by day. These are littering the space, and these are literally gambling spam. Certainly they are greedy as they manipulate, they know your customer terms, and they would manipulate safe play requirements in order to make high rollers, VIP clients, which make the most of the money, to lose even more. This is their destiny and their cause. And finally, they are self-satisfied and ignorant of the game. As a player, what is a game. They are not players. They don't know the game. They are self-satisfied. They go on LinkedIn. You may see it on my page elsewhere. You will understand what I mean. So how do they communicate or permute together? So casino game providers become casino owners. If you take example, lots of examples, but the one example is Playtech issuing the Caesars Casino. Casino owners buy casino game providers. Another example, Leo Vegas just recently bought Push Game casino games provider. And finally, casino platforms are used to be, most of the time they are used to be casino owners themselves. Take Campion Gaming casinos, and you see that they once started as a casino themselves, and then they tried to multiply this thing, trying to sell their own platform, their own software, and software copyright to the other guys who want to sell casinos. So they all promote, they take one form or another, they change in faces, So the second thing that I want to discuss here, now that we own that there are three faces of gambling, each of them are pretending to be a casino. Maybe they're casinos collectively, maybe some of them are more casinos than other, but the dapp or decentralized application casino are taking the industry by storm by all means, So let's discuss how these three, the triad, how they fit into the new world of dapp casinos. First of all, casino game providers. Under the new world of gambling, under the new concept, they are not vitally important and as compared to a traditional world. So the casinos are mostly now about being probably fair, not about being just another, slot. So probably fair is high. This is a new category. So the gambling becomes clear, and they created the whole new category. Casino now a probably fair thing. So it doesn't really matter what kind of slot is there, if at all. Maybe not slot, maybe dice and so on. What stands for casino is being probably fair. Also, casino game providers now can be replaced by in-house or licensed instant win games or other types of games. So the branding now is so much less appealing than in the early days, like 10 or 15 years ago. So micro gaming now, this is not even a good brand, especially in the dapp casinos world. And certainly there's a huge demand for new generation game providers, like for example Turbo Games, that change the whole industry. They charge less and provide probably fair games and so on and so on. So casino games are serious. They're all seriously diminished. They can be changed. They are not standing now for casino term itself. Probably fair stands for casino term, and they can be really traded for other types of providers, if at all. Maybe games might be produced in-house, and the whole idea of slot machines is not appealing right now as compared to, for example, crash games and so on and so on. Okay, what about casino platforms? Casino platforms are redundant. They're completely redundant these days, as casino games can be integrated directly by crypto casinos. Also, another cornerstone of their business, this is a payment function. So the payment function is not relevant at all for dapp casino, because these are crypto casino. They don't need Visa or Nutella integration. And finally, support function is reinvented. So this third party providing third-party services that keep the platform going, like support, they are not relevant because this is community outsourced. These are traded for community guides, the messenger and so on, so on. So it's not even appealing anymore. So right, what about casino owners? What about venture capitalists right now? So in the dapp casino economic, in the dapp casino world, casinos don't need some particular owner. They are owned by community who holds token and who receives dividends as the part of the casino daily revenue. This is the first thing. The second thing is a DAO treasury. So they are, this is a decentralized autonomous organization. This is a decentralized treasury, and it means better government, better than unprofessional, ignorant venture capitalists who want to take 25% return on investment and so on. Thirdly, decentralized casinos don't even take players' money. There's no need, to administer players' money. Money stays in the wallet. And fourthly, Curacao license as an interim solution may stay for a while, but it goes into the direction of no license at all. So the junction between casino game providers and all the rest, the platforms, casino owners, so the junction of licenses and payments has been broken. It's not necessary anymore. And finally, what are the weak points of both traditional and maybe even dapp casinos? The traditional line casino concept lays on the premise that the whole casino industry is governed by regulator, and the regulator himself or herself tries to impose the sin industry path on the whole business, which means allocating gambling only to those who can financially and morally afford it and morally bear the risk of it. This is the path that goes at traditional casinos. With the dapp casinos, the government has still a long way to go, partially because of its slow thinking, before the government can effectively take control of or regulate dapp casinos. Yet the aspiration that the industry is self-controlled, maybe self-controlled, still have to be proven. So we have good feelings, we have good aspiration about self-control, self-regulation, but it has to be proven with time. So the best answer to the problem of or to the issue of problem gambling, the most important one, may come from ensuring that a player is not just a player, but also an owner of casino. So with one hand, she loses money as a gambler, but with another hand, she wins as a dividends as a owner of the house. So this probably idealistic structure, but it has real good potential for the future to solve this intrinsic problem of the online gambling at all, which is problem gambling, and how to tell that people can afford and can morally and economically afford and tolerate the gambling itself. So this is my thoughts on who is casino after all, and how dapp casinos are changing and challenging the old triads. Thank you for watching. If you have questions or ideas on this topic, I encourage you to leave your comments or drop me an email. You can find my email on the website mycasinoindex.com. Also, I remind you that I have now Substack account for market professionals. If you're a casino owner to be, if you're a manager or top manager of this industry, or just a scientist, or you want to follow me on the professional methods, you can you can actually subscribe to my Substack. I have free 1 week. After that, it's $8 a month. But the content is really something new. There's a kind of fresh air in the industry. So please follow me, subscribe. Thanks for watching. Bye.